Well, I feel like we haven't done one of these in a very long time, but today, let's go ahead and preview the Arizona Cardinals versus the Houston Texans, a game that the Arizona Cardinals might win, and some might say winnable for the Arizona Cardinals, but I know a lot of Texans fans that are feeling the exact same way about this game for them. Let's dive right into it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack the like button on this video and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. And also, huge shout out to everybody that's currently watching this video or that has been subscribed for quite some time. We've officially made it to 13K here, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys, and for that, we're gonna go ahead and give away this Arizona Cardinal bottle opener. So if you guys have a man cave or you want something to do with the Arizona Cardinals hanging on your wall, if you want to win this, let me know here in the comments below, and I'll be shipping it out to one of you guys out in the comments here below. Alright, everybody, let's dive right into it. Let's talk about Houston Texans versus the Arizona Cardinals. My Arizona Cardinals. Now, obviously, with Kyler Murray coming back, a very, very huge bump for the Cardinals, but let's call it like it is. The Cardinals are a 2-8 team, and we're playing a rookie quarterback in CJ Stroud that we haven't seen coming out of the draft look this darn good in a very, very long time. Now, the Houston Texans right now are 5-4 on the season, and CJ Stroud is playing very much like an MVP type of player. So the Arizona Cardinals might have their hands full. Now, at this very moment, obviously the Houston Texans are 5-4 on the season, and they are fighting for a playoff spot. I think currently right now they are second in their division, while the Arizona Cardinals are at the bottom of their division at 2-8. But there's still a lot for the Arizona Cardinals to possibly fight for in this game. Now, if you guys didn't know, the Arizona Cardinals made a very, very underrated acquisition here, claiming running back Michael Carter from waivers that was just released by the New York Jets. Now, this news dropped probably about Wednesday of this week, and I think this is a very, very underrated signing. Now, do we think we're going to see Michael Carter in this week versus the Houston Texans? Probably not. We're most likely going to see him maybe in a week or two, but honestly, I think we all longed for a running back to be RB2 behind James Conner for quite some time, and if Michael Carter can be that guy, I am game, and I'm 100% up for that. So let's continue to talk about Houston Texans versus the Arizona Cardinals, what I feel like the Cardinals need to do in order for us to get this win here. Right now, I think one of the most glaring things is that the Arizona Cardinals need to rattle the cage of CJ Stroud. Now, like we said earlier, CJ Stroud is playing very, very close to an MVP type of player. Now, some might say actually MVP, right? But obviously, we'll have to kind of wait and see how it all shakes out towards the tail end of the season. But with what we've seen so far in this, the short sample size, or I guess it's not that much of a short, it's actually half of the season already, he's looking very, very good. And honestly, probably one of the best, or actually the best quarterback as of right now in terms of getting taken in the 2023 NFL draft. So what do the Cardinals need to do? We need to go ahead and rattle the cage of CJ Stroud. Now, I do know that the offensive line is probably one of the best things that is happening for the Texans this year. Now, they have gone through a lot of injuries, and obviously, kudos to that regime and kudos to that offensive line for being as sturdy as they could be, especially with all the injuries that they ended up getting. Now, I think the Arizona Cardinals need to send a lot of different packages, a lot of different pressures, a lot of different stuff that CJ Stroud probably has never seen, right? And that's going to be Budda Baker as well as Kyzir White. We need Kyzir White to really come out here and play as physical as he possibly can, because let's be honest, Kyzir White is one of those guys that bring that physicality to this defense along with Budda Baker. So we need to come out here and set the tone and cause pressure to CJ Stroud. Rattle the cage and make sure he's very uncomfortable back there, as well as just kind of make him frustrated, right? Because although we have seen CJ Stroud excel in these moments, at the bottom line is he's still a rookie quarterback. So if there's any chance or any glaring weakness, that might be the best for the Cardinals to come out here and put that as our major game plan on the defensive side of the ball, is rattle the cage, or at least try to rattle the cage of CJ Stroud and make him one-dimensional, right? Now, another thing I feel like the Arizona Cardinals need to do is that running game. I'm not 100% sold on Dameon Pierce. Now, I know that he has looked good at one point, but Devin Singletary was the guy that was last week making so many yards for the Texans. Now, the Arizona Cardinals doesn't have a great run defense. I'm going to come out here and say that right now. We don't have a great run defense. So is it going to be a problem for the Cardinals and Devin Singletary? Probably, but I'm not 100% confident that Devin Singletary can be that guy for them long term, but being that we do have some struggles and being that they just came off a win and beating the Cincinnati Bengals, they might be feeling themselves as much as we're feeling ourselves as well, right? With just 2 wins. So we got to stop that run game. We need to make sure that they are one-dimensional on the offense. I think that's one of the most important things as well, including the sending pressure and rattling the cage of CJ Stroud, is making sure that they're one-dimensional and having CJ Stroud beat him or beat us himself, as opposed to having the play action and having all these things where our defense is going to get sucked up and he can make that big bomb, right? Now, a couple things that kind of worry me about the Arizona Cardinals is obviously our secondary hasn't been the best, especially with our, I guess, top cornerback on our roster. And I mean like 1, 2, and 3, right? I'm not saying he is better than Antonio Hamilton. I'm not saying he's better than Garrett Williams, but it seems like Marco Wilson's usually the guy that seemed to be the number 1 right now in consensus of the depth chart. So our secondary is not the best, especially in the quarterback's position. I'm very confident with our safety, so I guess I won't say our secondary isn't the best. I would say our cornerbacks probably isn't the best, right? We got Garrett Williams, which is a rookie, but he's looking good. We got a veteran in Antonio Hamilton, but on top of that, we got Marco Wilson, which is kind of a liability for the Arizona Cardinals. I'm really hoping that he comes out here and changes the narrative, because there's a lot of Cardinal fans that aren't really happy with Marco Wilson right now, especially with a lot of the drops that could be interceptions that he can't really 100% capitalize. So there's an opportunity for this to be a shootout, especially for the Texans side of the ball, because they do got some wide receivers over there that I do fear, right? Rookie wide receiver Tank Dell, and I'm not 100% sure if Nico Collins is going to go. There was word that Noah Brown has actually been ruled out for the Texans, so that's a huge blow for their wide receiving core, but we can't ignore the elephant in the room in their tight end. Dalton Schultz, a huge asset for the Texans, so definitely something to be very, very worrisome for Cardinals, because they got weapons. They absolutely do. Although I don't fear their running backs, I think their passing game is definitely something that the Cardinals need to make sure that they're on their P's and Q's with, right? So we'll have to kind of wait and see how that ends up shaking out. But what we need to do, I think it's very obvious, right? Rattle the cage, make them one-dimensional, and definitely things that I'm worried about is our cornerback situation, because I do think that any of those guys can go off, right? Whether it's Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz, or heck, maybe even Nico Collins as well. So we need to make sure that we are soundly collected on the defensive side of the ball, and this isn't going to be easy at all. At one point heading into the season, I kid you not, I think most Cardinal fans coming into the season thought that this was going to be a very easy win for the Cardinals, because if you look at it, the rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, and we thought this was going to be easy, but it isn't. It is not at all. They're a 5-4 team. They absolutely deserve all the flowers and much more, especially with what they've done and how quickly they turn around that organization with Will Anderson as well as CJ Stroud. So definitely kudos to them, but the Cardinals do need to take care of business here, because we do want to go on a 2-game winning streak. Now, yes, some might say that they are fighting for playoff spots, so they're going to come out here with their heads on fire. But the Cardinals do have a lot to fight for as well, and that is to back their franchise quarterback in Kyler Murray and obviously rally against them. We want to go on a streak as much as they want to go on a streak and make the playoffs as well. So the Cardinals do have a lot to fight for still. And that all circles around the idea of making sure that Kyler Murray is the franchise quarterback for the future. So I still want to win this game. I do see this game as a close game. I'm not going to say an absolute shootout, but I can see this game probably being like a 27-20, 27-23 type of game. I'm not sure exactly who's going to be the 27 or who's going to be the 23, but I do think at least 20 points plus is going to be put on the board because this is the second week of Kyler Murray and getting involved in the Drew Petzing offense. So honestly, I'm very excited about what we have going for us. And obviously we got our running back in James Conner, which is absolutely a beast in the backfield. So I'm excited to see how this game is going to shake out. A lot to fight for in this game, Texans versus Cardinals. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments below. What is your prediction of Week 11 matchup, the Cardinals versus the Texans? Put it in the comments. I appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day and go Cards.